There was a bombshell in a major murder case last night, a break in the case, a hot lead. Bobby Durst, heir to a New York real estate fortune whose wealth could be counted in skyscrapers, admitted in an HBO miniseries that he, quote, killed them all. And who better to deconstruct this constellation of deception and secrets and multiple murders than Bloomberg's own top cop on the case, Lisa DePaulo. Detective DePaulo, we've got right here a makeshift array of all the big players in this case. We're going to go around the horn here just to do the whole timeline. Right at the center, there's Bobby Durst. Tell us 10 seconds about Bobby Durst.
He went from being this amazingly successful man about town to this weirdo with all kinds of problems.
All right. In what year he then killed his wife, Kathleen Durst, who's there immediately to his left.
Kathleen Durst, beautiful medical student. She goes missing one night in this terrible snowstorm. Bobby says she just ran into the city. I never talked to her again.
Right. And that was in
1982, February 1982.
Westchester County DA Jeanine Pirro, just above Kathleen Durst. She picks up this case many years later, correct?
Oh, yeah.
In what year?
18 years later.
18 years later. And she gets interested. Why?
Because a cop came in with the file, because it was on a different tip. But when she took a look at it, she said, there was no investigation done here.
And she was immediately convinced that Bobby had probably killed his wife.
Yes.
Right.
Why was there no investigation originally?
Well, it's interesting, because the Salem cops just really did nothing. And Bobby was determined to try to get the case into the city where he thought he would be treated better. But in fact, either way, nobody did anything.
So Jeanine Pirro picks up the case and she says, I'm now going to pursue this case. And then what happens next? I know it involves that woman, Susan Berman, there up at the top right.
As soon as she reopens the case and it becomes public, there's a New York Times article that she's reopened the case. Within days of that, Bobby flips out. And one of the people Jeanine wanted to talk to first, was Susan Berman, who at the time of Kathy's disappearance was Bobby's closest confidant and his spokesperson.
Right. And her father, Davy Berman, otherwise known as Dave the Jew, was a gangster.
He was a gangster.
Right.
Susan ends up with a bullet in her head, gangster style, on December 23rd.
Of
2000.
2000. All right.
And somebody thought, oh, she's the gangster's daughter.
There was a mob.
Where was the body?
In her home on Benedict Canyon Road in Beverly Hills, but it was run down. She was in bad shape. She was broke. Bobby was sending her money.
Now, this is a strange cast of characters, but at that point, the strangest of all the characters enters the picture.
Correct.
Lisa DePaulo, right there on the right.
Yeah,
Lisa, you start writing about this story then.
As soon as the news hit about Susan Berman, I was in L.A.
Right.
She was a magazine writer, and a lot of people I knew her.
Right.
So after Susan ends up dead, Bobby goes down to this hovel he's rented in Galveston.
Yeah.
His next-door neighbor is this guy who's a little cranky. You know, their $300 a month flop house apartment. And but one day, Morris Black shows up in 3 trash bags in the Galveston Bay. His torso washes up first. The limbs are in 3 trash bags. The head has still never been found.
Right.
In the trash bag is a newspaper with Bobby Durst's address on it.
Wow.
So the cops are like, oh, we'll go check out who this is.
Now, crucially, it's the case that Bobby Durst, when living next door to Morris Black, was pretending to be a mute woman.
Correct. So when the cops get to the address, the landlord says, well, there's no Bobby Durst here. Oh, that apartment's, the tenant in that apartment is Dorothy Signer, and the poor thing is a deaf mute.
Right. So now all these cases go unsolved for some large period of time, and then suddenly Bobby Durst...
Well, no. They don't go unsolved.
Yeah.
There's charges. There's a murder charge for Morris Black.
Right.
Bobby's on trial for murder. He testifies on his own behalf. His defense was self-defense. And he said, I didn't mean to kill my neighbor Morris, but I did. And once I did, I had to chop him up and get rid of him because... because Jeanine Pirro has been chasing me for the disappearance of my wife, that I had nothing to do with.
From the time he killed Kathleen Durst, the jury lets him off inexplicably. But from the time he kills Kathleen Durst until the trial, where he's on trial, what's he doing all day? Besides occasionally killing people, apparently. Well,
he traveled a lot. He had a beautiful home in Northern California. He had a beautiful place downtown. He did a lot of traveling. He didn't have much to do. I mean,
so why pose as a female deaf mute?
because he didn't want people to know he was Bobby Durst anymore.
Right.
He was hiding from Jeanine Pirro.
So the jury buys that explanation on Morris Black. He's acquitted, doesn't go to jail, and later decides that he wants to make a movie with these two people, Andrew Jarecki and Mark Smerling. What got into this man's head, knowing that, as we know now, probably he is a mass murderer?
Hubris.
Hubris.
Through all of these cases, he always dangled things in a kind of catch-me-if-you-can way. The newspaper wrapped around the torso.
Right.
Come on.
So we get to the last person on the board who's crucial, Sareb Kaufman. Why is he so crucial to getting to where we got to last night with Bobby Durst arrested?
Sareb was Susan's stepson. He considered her his mother. But he was also very close to Bobby and didn't want to believe Bobby killed her. But as he's working with the filmmakers, he finds an envelope that Bobby had sent to his mother. It matched perfectly the cadaver note that was sent to the Beverly Hills police back when his mother was killed.
Including the misspelling of the word Beverly, which is really crucial.
Yes.